first thing that I really want to hit on is going to school is not going to make you a more confident person. It has been a long time since I've made a video. This video is meant for me to be my authentic true self and share with you my own personal experiences. So happy to share with you. I'm excited that you're here. My name is Chandali. I'm a licensed esthetician. I'm also a licensed aesthetics educator. I run a podcast called Skin Is In. I run this YouTube channel to mentor estheticians. I also have an exclusive mentor group called the Esti Community that is invite only. Before we get started with today's video, I wanted to invite you to join the Esti Community. If you are looking for a community where you no longer feel alone as an esthetician, you feel like you're getting the support, the knowledge, the resources from people who have been there, know what you're going through. Maybe you're looking for an accountability partner. That's exactly where I come in. So I am the founder of Esti Community. I felt it was extremely important to create a safe space for people to be able to just grow, ask questions, get feedback. So not only do we host group coaching calls where I give you legitimate feedback, I also offer one-on-one mentoring support within your membership. We also have a book club within the community that helps us grow together. We host esthetician-led calls, feedback calls. So there's a lot of different resources. And then we also have our community forum. It's kind of, think a Esti Facebook feed and something where you can go share about your day, share your wins, your success, what you're doing, what you want to improve on, case studies, ask questions, pick the brains of the ambassadors and the other members in the community. It is a very tight-knit group. I will say that I am very selective with my energy and who I connect with, and so I do like to make sure that it's a good fit for you as well. We've got Brazilian courses, trainings. We're just really growing a community, and now's a really great time if you've ever thought about maybe wanting to work with me as a mentor. And get that more one-on-one support as opposed to just like the free content that I'm able to offer on YouTube, then this would be a great place for you to go. It's $39.99 a month for the membership. I did a membership because I felt like it's best for people to come and go as they feel they need. So there's no contract, there's no stress. You can come and stay as long as you feel like you need support in your journey. And so I wanted to create a space for you guys, and I hope that you guys feel supported, and I'm going to drop the link down below. But other than that, I feel like now's a really good time to hit the subscribe button, hit a thumbs up for your girl who's out here trying to make a difference, and let's get into these 5 things. I do a lot. So I have a couple clients today. It is Sunday. I have clients today. So hold on, let me get my water going. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, now's a really good time. While I'm, not y'all seeing my armpit like that. Welcome to the show, bitch. This is the perfect time to subscribe to the vibes, girl. Help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate it. And in exchange, I'm gonna give you all of the knowledge that I know. Today's video, you guys, I had to make notes because, listen, you guys, I have done so many things in this industry. Like, it's honestly insane when I think about it. Like, I don't know, sometimes I found myself asking God, like, why did I experience this? Why was this my journey? Like, why me? Why not me? Like, you know, so many questions. Like, a lot of good happened to me, and then a lot of things that, like, I definitely would not want to go through again, specifically in this industry. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, outside of this, like, my life experiences. Like, specifically in this industry, there are things that I have been through that I would never want to live through in my life again. So I mentor and I teach students, right? And one of the things that I've learned is there's a lot of different types of students that come into school. And these students look like people who have just graduated high school. These students also look like people who have lived a life. Maybe this is a second career. Maybe they've lost a loved one and now they're going back to school for something to give them more purpose in life. It could also look like students who don't really know what they want to do. Like, yeah, they might do this and maybe they don't. It is a really good preparation for the world, because you're not picking up a lot of clients while you're in school. That is a test for you in the real world. And I say number one is going to school is not going to make you a more confident person. Now, going to school could help build your confidence, but what's going to make you a more confident person is really allowing yourself to submerge yourself into school. Simply going to school is not enough. Like, you are going to have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You're going to have to take clients you don't necessarily want to take, do services that you don't plan to perform in the real world, because in reality, this is the only time you have to get it. Right? Like, once you get out there and you get your license, you are going to go into a job, or you're going to open your own business, or maybe you don't even do this, right? But regardless, that is really the only time in school, is when you have the dedicated time to only focus on learning. When you get out of school, you now have that added pressure of earning an income and still learning. And so I tell a lot of my students, like, this isn't the hard part yet. Like, if I'm just being honest, and I'm speaking from someone who had a really hard time in school. Like, school was challenging for me. I'm an older adult learner. It is gonna take you putting yourself out there to become more confident with aesthetic. I have watched my students go from being completely petrified to take a service, like they're not gonna do this lash lift, oh my God, they'd rather go home, to them being at the end of their journey and reaching their hours and feeling like, oh wow, I can do a lash lift, I can do lashes, I can do waxing, I know how to do the consultation, I am comfortable recommending products. Like, watching them go from being scared to feeling like they can do it, that is going to happen. But I just think, like, in terms of you being an overall just more confident person in yourself and your abilities in life in general, that's going to really take work. So just know that you don't have to get it all in school, because you're not. So number two, mindset is everything. If you think that you're not learning anything, then you're not. If you don't go and seek out additional knowledge and ask those questions, then you're not going to get it. And most educators are going to try to push you to do it yourself, right? Like, yeah, I'm here to answer your questions. If you have, like, should I use this product on this skin? I'm happy to do that. Even refreshing your mind and your memory on said service, I don't mind doing that. But 100%, if you come to me, or typically any good educator, like, we're gonna go, okay, have you pulled out the protocol card? Are you looking before your service? So I don't want you to lean on your educators in the way that, like, why aren't they just telling me the answer? Because that's really not what we're there for. We're there to guide you and help you problem solve it as if we weren't there, because there's gonna come a time when you can't just call me and be like, hey, what do I do? Like, you're gonna be in the moment doing the service stressed. Sorry, you guys, I was getting a phone call. So just to kind of dive deeper into that, mindset is everything. The students that I feel like who do the best in school and also do the best out in the world are the students who have the mindset that they're capable, that they're going to practice this, that they understand that they're not perfect, that they are going to continue to work on it to be better. Those are the students that I feel like who really see success. And as someone who has went through the journey of being a student, like, obviously I know, and this was fairly recent, like this was in the last 5 years. That takes me to number 3. So we're educators for a reason. Now, I can't speak for all of the teachers out there at all of the schools, because I know that there's some that maybe, probably shouldn't be in the position that they are in. But guess what? They are. So you have to be able to draw from that in any way, whether it's something that you would do or something that you would never do, right? Like I have educators that I've learned from where I'm like, that didn't really work for me, so when I teach it, I'm gonna teach it this way. I think that sometimes while you're in school, it's your first 4 waxes, you know, like even your first 20 waxes, even your first 30 Brazilians, even your first 50 Brazilians, it's gonna be an experiment. Like you're gonna be like, did that work? Was that good? Should I pull tighter? Should I hold tauter? Like what? We're on number 3 or number 4. Number 4, I would say, is there is a lot of you and there's only typically one of us as an educator. So it is definitely something that you have to be comfortable knowing that you're not going to get undivided handheld attention. I think like it's a good idea if a question pops in your head, what I would recommend is writing it down so that you can then take it to your educator and say XYZ. Like I have this one student who I absolutely loved because she had so many questions and I love that so much, but also like I'm at work working actively, and they would be questions that like didn't pertain to a client in that exact moment. Yes, her questions were still super important and valid, but we just found different times that worked better for us to address her questions. Number 5, let's talk about business. Things that I have learned since going on my path of student, business owner, educator, still business owner, is that building a business is a full-time job and it starts as soon as you start school. If you ever plan on wanting to launch your own business, then I think you should really treat school as if you have done it. This is the time to try their products, get as many certifications on that product line as you can, really understand ingredients, think about your mission, why are you doing this? And really think about your pitch. Who are you trying to help? What would you do for them? Why should they spend their money with you? These are really good questions to ask yourself, and you shouldn't wait until you're about to start your business to do it. You should start doing it immediately. I don't care if you plan on working at a dermatology clinic after school, or if you're going to do the mobile thing, or if you decided that you're only going to work in one set field and you're never going to do facials, you're only ever going to lash. I still think it's so important to think about yourself as somebody who works for themselves eventually, because that's really the beauty of this industry. I'm not saying it's how you have to go, but it's one of the really great things about being able to do this. And I think it also helps you figure out where you do want to go, what kind of companies you do want to work with, where would best serve your end goal. One of the things that schools, if it's a good school, should be teaching you is about pre-booking and recommending products and really talking to your client about, you know, what that end of the service looks like. So things that I feel like translate from school into the real world is pre-booking and recommending products will never go away. You can hate doing it all you want. You can hate hearing your educators talk about it, but at the end of the day, you will not be successful in this industry if you are not really comfortable with that conversation of getting your client committed to coming back and then also recommending what they need to be using in between services, because that is what we do. And it's not just from a facial perspective. This is from a waxing perspective, from a lashing perspective, from makeup artistry. It does not matter what branch you go into specifically. You cannot have clients just using whatever in between services. Like, it is going to hurt you and your results. It's going to make you frustrated. And at the end of the day, like, listen, if you're not asking for the business, why would they come back to you? Like, I'm going to come to somebody who wants me to come back. And if you're like, oh man, maybe if you want to come back, we'll see, like, it's like, okay, well, I'll look and see when it's important to me. But if you're like, hey, you've told me this is important to you, I want to help you with your clear skin journey and I want to hold you accountable. So ideally, I'd like to see you every 3 weeks. That looks like it's going to be the 21st, the 17th, the 18th, or whatever. And let's go ahead and get those dates scheduled at 10 a.m. Does that work for you? And then we can let them decide yes or no. Or What works better for you? Does those dates work for you? Or what dates work better for you? Like, you need to be so comfortable with that conversation, because what I have learned is that I have, a ton of people that I mentor. And one of the things that's kind of a common theme is like asking the client to come back. Like, it's really an awkward conversation for some of us. And I think that conversation can be awkward if it's unknown. But if you know that you are going to have this conversation, you could do so many things to make this process easier. You could tell them up front. You could be like, hey, now I definitely like to hold people accountable. So if you don't really want to stick with the skincare regimen, maybe I'm not the right provider for you. And I know that that's hard, saying no to money and saying no to people who are potential clients. But at the end of the day, it sets a really good tone for the type of client you're looking for. And if that client is serious, they're going to be like, no, I do want my skin clear. Matter of fact, like, what does your books look like? What do you think would be best for me? And now you're advising from a place of an expert that's trusted, as opposed to somebody who's like, come to me, please, 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 like begging for a client, because we're not begging for them. We want to help them, but only if they want to be helped. Oh, let me say it again. We want to help people, but only if they're in a space that they are wanting to be helped. And I think that's something that I learned from Reiki, and not just being an educator. Reiki is one of those things where you encounter energy sometimes and you're like, oh, I really need to give you a cleansing. Like, let's just balance that energy out. You're giving like chaotic vibes. And you can't just, even though you could technically perform the service without even being present to that person, it's not ethically correct. People have to want to be open to receive. They have to want to fix their skin. They have to want to wax consistently and not shave in between. They have to want to come back for their fills. And you have to create an inviting space for them to do that. But you also have to ask. You have to say, like, hey, are you serious? And if you are serious, here's what I want you to do. So I think that a lot of times when my students graduate, they still struggle, and even the people that I mentor. And I think, like, just in general, if it's not like your natural personality to be a little bit more pushier, and I don't like calling it pushy. I mean, I will say pushy because I am a little pushy. What she say? I'm a pusher. I push people. That's a Mean Girls reference, if you don't know. But it's really holding people accountable to what they say they want, right? Like, they come to you, they tell you they want to fix this, they want to fix that. They cry when they look in the mirror, and oh my gosh, the pigmentation, it just doesn't stop. It keeps coming back. We're not wearing sunscreen. Like, all of that happens. And they talk to you about it. And then it's up to you to say, okay, this is what you said. I know what it takes. Let's get it done. It's up to them if they want to do it, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to hold people accountable and say, like, okay, I mean, if you don't do this, then you will continue to deal with the dark spots. If I've had clients where we have had to have coming to Jesus conversations where I'm like, I see you for a facial treatment. We go through the facial and then we look back and we're like, what's going on with the skin? Because the skin's still showing some reaction. It's still having some activity. And at this point, like, I've told you what we need to do. Like, where are we at it? And you're telling me you go get wax and then you immediately put makeup on. It's like, okay, that's a problem. And we cannot do that. And I will tell you right now, my clients can vouch for me. I will tell them right now, I can't keep letting you come spend money if I know that that's what you're doing. Because to me, it doesn't sit right ethically for me, because I know it's no amount of facial is going to change your behavior. And if you are not going to change and hold yourself accountable to the standard, then we can't get there. I'm not a miracle worker, and you aren't either. And that takes a lot of pressure off of you too, because I think sometimes we feel, okay, back on track. So sometimes I feel like my students are like taking it so personally, and I understand, because we want to create these results. We see it, and sometimes we'll do case studies and they'll come back and they're like, oh my gosh, they're having more breakouts. And it's like, yes, we expect that though. We've got to get to the root cause of the problem. And so I think, like, it's just really important in recognizing not to take it so personal, because at the end of the day, we can only do so much. And if they don't want to do the things that we're telling them, then it puts them in a really compromising situation. So some of my students said enjoy it more. I think this is so valid too. Going to school, and really this is more so about anything at all in life. Enjoy it more, live more, be present more, lean into it more, try more, give more, want more. Don't settle for like this mediocre type of life. You don't have to. It's okay to say that you want something and to let yourself have it. And that is from Halloween Town. Okay, let's just talk about cancellations in general, especially while you're in school. Girl, people is gonna play with your time. They are just gonna play with it. They don't mean to play with it. They're not trying to hurt your feelings. It's just one of those things where like you're doing something new. You're finally somebody that they know that they can go to about something that they've seen on social media. And now they want to get a nose wax from you. But maybe it takes them 4 times to come in, right? Maybe you're going back and forth trying to get them to come in for this discounted service. And it starts to hit you. Damn, if I have to do all of this just to get them to come to the school, like what's it going to be like having them come to the business? And if that doesn't hit you at all, I'm sorry that I just planted that seed, because bitch, you need to be thinking about it. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you cannot be on that wrong kind of time. You need to be thinking about it right now. And here's where we're going to wrap it up. School is meant for you to learn. It's meant for you to grow. It's meant for you to try. It's meant for you to find people who are okay with that too. When you graduate, you are going to find people who liked you in school and will continue to stick with you. Maybe a few. Maybe a ton of them aren't. Maybe no one in your family comes and supports you because they don't care about facials or they don't want to get waxed. They've never done it before. And just because you're doing it does not mean they're all of a sudden going to be interested. That's okay. There are like so many billion people in this world. There are so many estheticians out here, and yet we still find people to service and support. So I think in school, allow yourself to be a student. That would be my personal best advice, is to be a sponge, be a student, be comfortable knowing you don't know it. You're not going to know it all. This is not your best version. And honestly, fuck yeah. I'm glad that that version of me was not my best version. Bitch, look at me now. Look at my business now. Look at where I'm at now. And I mean heavy on the like, look at me. I once had a brand tell me that I would never be more than a social media influencer. Like the director of education for a brand told another person that worked for that brand in confidence about me. They were talking shit, and she literally said, I only see Chandali as a social media educator. And that's so crazy because, bitch, I get paid real checks to educate. Real ass money, okay? And am I sitting here saying it's the best money in the world? No, but it's not even about money, but it's just like, if I listened to what people thought of me or even what I thought of myself, and I only held myself to that limitation, I would have never done shit at the fuck all. I wouldn't apply for all of these scholarships, all of these grants, got flown to all of these places for $0 and then got paid to work it, supported and worked with some of the greatest and some of the wildest brands I've ever worked with in my life, built my business literally from the fucking ground up, shared my entire story, all so that I could be here in this moment being quote unquote just an influencer. If I influence you to do anything, it is to show up for your fucking self regardless of what people think of you. Regardless of what you think of you. So be a student. Be okay not knowing. It's all right. You're going to get there. You will get there. Time is inevitable. But what you can't get back, and what I have learned since I have lost people and I have gained new friends, new followers, new support, new love, new perspective, is that you cannot get back those just moments where you just weren't present. You can't get that back. So lean into it. Enjoy it. You know, create it a vibe. Don't hate studying. Set up a vibe for studying. Make it comfortable. Don't hate going to work. Make it your thing. Feel comfy. Do what you need to do to get through the day. If that's your 9 to 5 so that you can go to school and get your education, or if that's your 9 to 5 so that you can save money to build your business, if that means you're taking clients in the basement, if that means like, it does not matter where you are in your journey. What matters is that you are enjoying it, that you are in it, and that you are grateful for it. Because I swear to you, I watch my content back, and I'm not gonna cry. You guys know I get emotional as shit, but I've definitely been a more emotional girly in this version of my life now. But I watch my content back, and I look at just how gritty I am, and how much I was like, so how dedicated I was to making sure this panned out. And I look around and I'm like, damn right it did, because it had no other option. I gave everything I needed to give to be here, and I continue to give, and I give from a place of like pure appreciation for the fact that I get to come in here and do this. I get to come on here and talk to you about what the fuck I do, so that you can eventually do something similar. If you've never watched my YouTube videos, if you've never binged my shit before, then you don't really know me. You don't really know what it has taken to get here to make this video today. And I say that so that you feel encouraged to go back and watch that shit. Watch those days, those long ass days, those days where I had 0 clients, those days when I was making 100 calls a day just to try to lock in 4 or 5 clients, just so I could build my business, just so I can create this reputation, just so I could keep this momentum, just so I didn't give up. So, I don't know. I haven't made a video in a while. I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys and kind of let you know where I'm at in my journey, what's going on with me, what's going on in my life. Things are really good for me. Just a little life update. I love teaching. I always knew that I was going to love being a teacher. I love all of the elements of teaching, and so creating the Esti community is so special to my heart. I created the Esti community out of a space of feeling like I didn't have support in the ways that were from people who understood what I was going through, who recognized what I was struggling with, my legitimate struggles, like clients canceling, how to get people in the doors, how to build my brand, finding my voice in business. And I wanted to create a space where estheticians could feel safe in sharing their struggles without being taken advantage of, because I have been taken advantage of in this industry. And so that's how it was created. It is honestly at a price point that I feel like was the best price point so that I could show up and support you guys, but also make sure that it was going to be something that was easy for you to let go of, easy for you to reinvest in yourself, and to turn that into tangible results. And I feel like everybody in the community who has participated has walked away feeling like that was so crucial to their journey, and that being a part of it is so crucial to their journey, and how we really show up and champion for each other. And I will invite you to join. You are more than welcome. This is zero pressure, because honestly, for me, I truly only want to help people who are in the space that they want to be helped, right? So if that's you, I will drop a link down below for you so that you can get your invite and come on in and join us. And I hope to see your face in the place. I hope this video was inspirational and helpful for you, and it made you want to subscribe and maybe look at some of my journey if you've never seen it. And if you are a day one supporter, you know what I'm talking about. And so it just feels really good to be on this side, because damn, it took a lot to get here. And I'm just really proud of myself and my team and my wife and my family. And I just think back to the version of me who was just daydreaming in her car door dashing. So it's just kind of crazy. So anyways, thanks so much for being here. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.